Okay, this is going to be my third complaint video. I'm going to take these off. Alright, this complaint video is pointed squarely at D&D 4th edition. I want to make really clear, real quick disclaimer, I don't hate Dungeons & Dragons. I have played Dungeons & Dragons for a really long time. I've played a lot of role-playing games. I've lost my particular fanboyism for my favorite system. I still like it, but I can't really claim to be a fanboy anymore. WizKids did a very good job at accomplishing their task with D&D 4th edition. I could see what they were trying to do, and I think they did an amicable and excellent job of it. I simply strongly disagree with what they were trying to do. So, if you like 4th edition, you do not need to watch this. I don't want you to take anything I say personally, because, you know, in the future sometime I may actually play 4th edition. I don't want to now, but that may change, and sometime, you know, I like to play games of a wide variety, so I may actually intentionally play 4th edition in the future. Okay, now I'm going to get to the complaining. Many moons ago, someone said, "Hey, you know what's cool? Them Lord of the Rings stories. Gosh, I wish I could be one of them guys killing orcs and such." And somebody else said, "Yeah, man. Yeah." And D&D was born. It was based on a system of dice rolling called chainmail, which you can wiki all of this crap to find out the history. I'm not going to go into it. D&D begat all these other versions, and AD&D and 2nd edition D&D and 2nd edition AD&D, and then all these other companies started making role-playing games, and mostly the other fantasy role-playing games were created specifically because AD&D 2nd edition was really stupid. I played a good deal of AD&D 2nd edition, but the core rule concepts were absolutely ludicrous. So a bunch of other companies said, "Hey, let's make stuff that isn't stupid." And then D&D almost went out of business, and TSR did go out of business, and they sold the license to WizKids. WizKids said, "Hey, let's make D&D again smarter." And then 3.0 D&D came out, and then 3.5 D&D came out, which was a tiny little tweak to 3.0. Let me just point out that from this point forward, whenever I say 3.5, I refer to the 3.0, 3.5 era, because it's the general things that were introduced in 3.0 that I really appreciate. 4th edition happened, and they screwed it all up. Really quickly, for those of you who aren't aware, a role-playing game is essentially letting grown-ups play pretend with each other in a way that is engaging for grown-ups to do. Remember when you were a kid and you were like, "Oh, I love the Ninja Turtles. Just play Ninja Turtles, Gary." And you'd all get around and be like, "I want to be Raphael." "Yeah, I don't want to be. You can be. I don't want to be Donatello." "You be Donatello." "I want to be Donatello." And you'd all go out in the yard and be like, "I have a pole. I'm going to hit you." Like, "Ah, you didn't hit me. You did it." Okay, so you're doing that. Only when you're a kid, you'd say, "Ha ha! I hit you with my bow staff." And the other kid go, "No, you didn't." And there was no way to really resolve it. So, you know, the bunch of guys who got really high in the 70s and invented chainmail and D&D said, you know, we could probably figure this out using statistics and dice. That's the core concept. You use statistical values to express how good you are at something, and then you roll dice based on those statistics to find out whether you succeed or fail, and how well you succeed or fail. That's how people roleplay. D&D 3.5 did an excellent job of accommodating this task. The most important things that a role-playing system can do is give a group of people rules that they can then use and manipulate on their own to have a lot of fun together and freely express their own characters and make something unique to them that they can then do what they want with and have a lot of fun doing it with their friends. 4th edition kind of gives up on the best aspects of that. Let's just go over this really quick, because I don't want to make this video too terribly long. Here's why 4th edition sucks. They got rid of skills. Okay, skills still exist in 4th edition D&D, but instead of having variable skills, okay, which is something they added in 3.0 and 3.5 that D&D didn't have in 2nd edition D&D, but every other good role-playing system had, They added that, and then in 4th edition, they were like, that's too complicated. We can't have people doing that. We need to get rid of this. Yes, let's move backwards. 2nd edition AD&D had a proficiency system. Either you fished or you didn't. Either you swam or you didn't. Either you carved or you didn't. That's it. 4th edition has skills, only you can't actually allocate points as you see fit. Either you do it or you don't. There are still points, but you don't get to put them where you want. If you choose to put your, say, yes, I'm proficient in this skill, you get +5. Or you don't get +5. That's all the control you have over it. Other than that, it's level, ability, skill, that is a +5. In 3.5, you got skill points, and you could say, ooh, I want to be pretty good at this, and really good at this, and okay at that, and there's this huge skill list, so you really had control. You'd be like, my character does this, and this, and this, and this, and I want to do this, and this, and this, I want to be this good at this, and this good at this. You were in charge. You had that kind of control over your own creation, and that's what a character is. It's your creation. 4th edition, they said, no, you know what we need to do? We need less skills. That's far too much individuality and thinking on the part of the player. So let's just shrink that skill list down, and we need people to have less control of their less skills. So instead of saying, put however many points you want from the points you get, we're just going to say, you either have a +5 or you don't have a +5. That's the full thing. So that's it. Get rid of probably the best thing, determining how you do anything, which is skills. Everything you do is either a skill or an attack test, or if you don't have a skill, it's just an attribute check. But they just got rid of the ability to allocate skill points. That was absolutely ludicrous. They did not address any of the actual problems with D&D. Like, I don't know, all humans move at the exact same speed. There's 2 feats that you could take for it. You could take the run feat, you could take the fast movement feat, that either, they could increase it or not, but if you didn't take those 2 feats, and you had a 9 dexterity, okay, or you had a 20 dexterity, you both ran at the exact same speed no matter what. Another nifty thing, when you wear armor, it makes you harder to hit. That's right. They combined whether or not you succeed at striking the target with whether or not you damage them, even though you roll damage separately. So if I put on 80 pounds of plate mail, you can't hit me. That's really stupid. They didn't get rid of that. No, that's still there. They did create a really cool power system where you had at-will powers and per-encounter powers and per-day powers, but they didn't really explain why that's how it worked or why certain classes had certain abilities. The spellcasting classes, you understand, it's spells, but the other ones, I don't really know why you can do this, and you can only do this in these circumstances other than game balance. That's why it's for game balance, but they don't say, there's no in-game explanation. So you can be like, I used this awesome power, which helps us a lot. Oh yeah, that really helped, but there's still a lot of bad guys. I can't do it again. It's only a once per encounter power. What do you mean? Well, this is still one encounter. Wait, I know. Let's run around the corner. And then we have to talk about something not related to combat for a little bit. And then when the bad guys catch up to us, it'll be a new encounter. Awesome. So it's a good system if it were a video game like World of Warcraft, but not good for actual role-playing. The last thing, and this is the biggest bitch in the world when it comes to the D20 system. You know what my least favorite thing about the D20 system and D&D is? The D20. Yeah. A little bit of quick math for you here. In every D20 system game, you roll a D20, and you add a set number. Oh, let me get you a D20 real quick.